Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome back once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at another brand new offering from Jack Wolf Knives. One of my all-time favorite brands. Let's get this thing unboxed, shall we? And there she is, the brand new After Hours Jack, the second locking folder from Jack Wolf Knives, and probably one of the more exciting offerings from this year. I'm a huge fan of this design. I'm a huge fan of this knife. Main reason being, I've always wanted a Midnight Jack. The Midnight is the one model that I don't own that I want the most. I really like the Venom, and I really like the Midnight Jack. So, basically, what this is a locking version of a slightly larger Midnight Jack. You can front flip it like I just did there. Very simple to do. You can reverse flick it. You can thumb flick it. And you can slow roll it. It does everything. Now, this is not completely broken in yet. It needs just a couple more days of playing with it. But it's already doing some nice drop shutty, smooth controlled drop shutty kind of good stuff. And if you're wondering what's going on with this little baggie right here and why it has a number on it, it's because this is a filler tab for those of you who do not want to use the pocket clip that we see right here. If you decide, hey, you know what, I'm not going to carry this like a standard folder, I want to carry it in a slip, just like I do with my Jack Wolf slip joints, you can simply take the knife apart, unscrew the hidden screw for the clip, take the clip off, and then you slide the filler tab into that spot and screw it back in, just like the clip was screwed in. And now you have what is going to be very similar to your slip joints. You can just toss it right in the pocket. The reason why it's numbered is those of you that choose a variation that does not have the covers, does not have carbon fiber. If yours is one of the plain full titanium frame lock variations, then you'll get a filler tab that does not have a number. And from what I understand, it's because it was more difficult to cut away on the carbon fiber and have an exact fitting filler tab. So what they did was they numbered them to each of these that were made. Stick on there. And all the titanium ones that are, just on the titanium frame lock versions, one fits all of them. So you could have any of the filler tabs for the titanium frame locks and they'll fit any of them. If you have a bolster lock, which as you can see this one is, then yours will be numbered. Now, if you happen to lose your filler tab for some reason, you can always reach out to Ben at Jack Wolf Knives, and he has some extras. It's not guaranteed to fit as precisely as the one that came with your knife, but it will obviously work very, very well. So anyway, all that out of the way, let's talk about this particular knife, what's so cool about it, and also when it's releasing, which I probably should have started with that. This is going to be dropping live at all of the Jack Wolf Knives dealers online on December 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you shop with any of their long list of retailers, they're all going to be available on the same day, December 15th. And all the dealers, except for one dealer, I think, is going to launch them at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you'll get your opportunity there. Now, if you're wondering what all the different flavors are going to be this time around, I'm going to pop them up on the screen very quickly so you can take a quick look at them and see all of the variations that will be offered. 2 of them will be frame locks. So they will not have scales or covers or whatever you choose to call them. They're called covers in the slip joint world. So if you choose to go with those, they're kind of plain, but they look really, really good. And then you've got a few different flavors of the versions with the carbon fiber. And some nice carbon fiber choices as well. And there's one Kieranite once again, or acrylic, whichever way you want to look at it. And that is a vibrant, bright, toxic green, which I think is cool, but I don't know, for some reason, it's a weird yellowish green to me, so it didn't sing to me quite like the Purple Haze did. And I think the Purple Haze is probably going to be the #1 seller. Purple Haze is extraordinarily popular. I'm going to lower my camera here just a little bit because this is a smaller knife than the last one that I was reviewing, so I don't need quite as much room on the table here. So as you saw when I unboxed it, you do get the slip, you get the filler tab, and the cleaning cloth, which this time around is gray. So what you're looking at here is a coffin style pattern with a Barlow bolster. So it's got the elongated bolster. The other popular coffin style slip joint that Jack Wolf offers is the Vampire Jack, which is still one of my favorites in my personal collection. Oh, that pull is so much stronger than all the others in my collection. Just an awesome, awesome knife. I have 2 vampires. I love them very, very much. But one of the models that I missed out on because I didn't get on the Jack Wolf train quite early enough, I missed it by a few months, was the legendary Midnight. The Midnight Jack is one of the most popular models available or that was made by Jack Wolf Knives, and that is their sheep's foot design. Really, really looks good. And this is an upscaled version. It is identical except for the dimensions. It's a little bit larger, not by a lot, but it is a little bit larger. You've got a nice 4-finger grip on this bad boy. Nice solid lockup on there, by the way. Oops. And like I said, you have a few different ways that you can deploy it. I guess you could probably try, yeah, you could do the off the side of the finger. I can't stand doing it like that. All I do is tear up my damn skin when I try to do it. Okay, so getting back to the knife. The differences between this and the Gunslinger, besides the overall shape and design, is the fact that you are going to get a titanium pivot through and through on this. So both of the Torx heads are going to be titanium. On the Gunslinger, what they had done was a 2-piece pivot, and it was steel. So you had a steel Torx that screwed into the barrel, and attached to the barrel was the other side, the other Torx. And it was just 2 pieces, one that went through the whole knife, and then the steel head that you would screw down, and you were all done. But in order to make this easier for people to customize, because a lot of people have been customizing their Jack Wolf knives over the past the past year or so. If you wanted to say anodize your hardware purple, now you can actually do that because that titanium pivot screw will anodize. And by the way, talking about the purple, let's take a look again very quickly at the packaging. I'm a huge fan of the artwork on this particular canister. Love the neon look. And I love how the theme ties in. So the original was the Midnight Jack. This is the After Hours, the After Midnight Jack. See what they did there? Why am I dropping stuff all day long? Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. I have been dropping stuff like crazy lately. Anyway, the artwork was done once again by Sean Tiffany. Looks really, really cool. And I like that. I like the neon aesthetic. I'm a retro 80s kind of person, and everything in the 80s was neon and neon colored, and I do totally dig that look. All right, so obviously the biggest difference between this knife and Jack Wolf's other offerings is the fact that they primarily make slip joints, and this is a locking folder. This is a true bolster lock. So what a bolster lock is, it is essentially a frame lock with a scale inlaid into the lock side that matches the presentation side. So you've got the purple haze carbon fiber right there, fat carbon, and then matching on the other side. This has the triple flutes on the Barlow style elongated bolster, which is a signature of Jack Wolf knives, and they've done that on a number of their knives, as you can see here on the Vampire. Same kind of deal, except this is a double bolster, and this is a single bolster. Now, here's the thing for me. I am a massive fan of Jack Wolf knives. I mean, massive. They are some of my absolute favorite knives. I carry a Jack Wolf every single day. No matter what else is in my pocket, no matter what else I'm carrying, I always have a Jack Wolf slip joint in my pocket. And what makes the brand unique is they are making these modern interpretations of classic slip joints. So you're getting very modern looks of classic designs. And obviously this is the most modern, the Cyborg, because this does not come off of a defined pattern, classic pattern, like most of the rest do. And that's what sets this brand apart for me. I have a lot of locking folders. I have a lot of flippers. I have a lot of folders. So this competes with a lot of other knives for me. Whereas the slip joints are unique. The only slip joints I carry are Jack Wolf, period. That's it. They're the only ones that I truly love. And every model that comes out, I am so excited. I'm literally waiting. Every month, I am waiting for the next month to see what the next Jack Wolf offering is going to be, because there's a brand new model every month. And I'm always excited. That doesn't mean I'm not excited about this. I think it's a really, really nice knife. But the slip joints are what are unique in my collection. And I think no matter how many locking folders Benjamin chooses to do, I'm always going to be most excited about the slip joints. And I'm still blown away that I think like that, because if you had asked me a year and a half ago, what do you think about slip joints? I would have had a very long-winded explanation for why I don't think about them at all, that I don't care about them. They're old mannish. They're from a couple of generations before mine, not really my kind of thing. I'm a very modern, tactical folder kind of person. And I like modern materials and modern designs and this and this and that. And when Jack Wolf knives came along and we got to see crazy stuff like this, it was a complete game changer. So that's where I sit as far as the Jack Wolf folders go. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a natural thing for them to do because, as Ben always says, it is a much larger market than slip joints. Everybody's buying folders. Not as many people buy slip joints these days. So this was a very, very smart business decision for him to do. And to make them in matching patterns to the pre-existing slip joints is brilliant. Because again, I have always wanted a Midnight Jack. I love that look so much. I love this blade shape. What a fantastic box cutter, box opener, just all the way around, great blade shape. And I can tell you right now, if this month would have been a re-release, a new updated version of the Midnight, I would have been beside myself with excitement. So I love that I had the opportunity to finally have this blade shape from Jack Wolf in my collection. I'm very excited about that. And the other cool thing is, since I am primarily a folder guy, this is going to be something that gets some good use because it kind of fits two needs. One, I really wanted the Jack Wolf Midnight. That is the look. And I always carry a folder, so it's going to have that utilitarian purpose for me as well. And for those that have never carried one of these, I noticed this the first couple times I carried the Gunslinger. It is so unbelievably lightweight. It's crazy. There is a significant difference between carrying this knife and pretty much every other folder that I have in my collection. Very substantial difference in the weight. Now, very quickly, let's move this out of the way. Put this right over here. I'm not going to belabor the specs, so I'm going to pop them on the screen right here. Go ahead and pause the video, and you can read down the spec list of what it is that's important to you. I want to reiterate that these are still S90V steel. S90V is a super premium steel that holds an edge for an extraordinarily long time. You're going to get lots of use out of it before you need to strop it, certainly before you're ever going to need to resharpen it, and you do have a very large sharpening notch right there. It's going to give you plenty of long life for the material that you're going to remove every time you sharpen. So every time I say that, the thought pops in my head. I need to remind people, you don't always need to resharpen when your knife starts to feel dull. Strop it. Strop your knives. It doesn't remove a whole bunch of material. It just rehones that edge. And you might be able to strop it a dozen times and bring that edge back to life before you need to actually sharpen one by removing material. These are all deeply hollow ground with really nice belt satin marks on the blade that looks really sharp, looks really good. By the way, yes, they are sharp, by the way. I've never gotten a Jack Wolf that wasn't crazy, ridiculously sharp. Like I've mentioned in the past, I use my Jack Wolves, yeah, that's a good way to pluralize it. I use my Jack Wolf knives to open boxes and cut down boxes more than almost any other knives in my collection. So when I've got a folder on me and I've got a slip joint on me, I'm almost always using the slip joint. There's just something about it. I love cutting with these super thinly ground, hollow ground blades that Ben offers. They're so wonderful. They're so slicey. And for those that are not aware, S90V is also really good for corrosion resistance as well. So some of the most important things for a daily carry knife are the fact that it remains sharp for a good long time, and it's not going to start rusting and corroding. Both things are very important, and S90V gives you both of those. The combination of the colors here is fantastic on all of the variations. No matter which carbon fiber choice you make, or the Kieranite, again, there's that Kieranite option, the coordinating pocket clip and backspacer anodizing looks really good. For me on the Purple Haze, I think it's a no-brainer. That was the way I went on the Gunslinger, and I think this was the perfect way to go as well. Purple Haze looks fantastic. It's a nice, rich color. And then you've got this very vibrant purple anodizing on the bead-blasted backspacer and bead-blasted pocket clip as well. As you would expect, the blade is perfectly centered, and the lockup is nice. It's not too early. That's just about 50% as I'm looking through my viewfinder. Nice lockup. Nice blade centering. So they're not just saying, hey, we're good at making slip joints. Let's try to make a folder that looks like our slip joints. They're putting the same degree of skill and quality and precision into the folders as they have been on all of the slip joints as well. So if you're already a fan of their work and you love their quality, their attention to detail, you're going to be very, very happy to now have a locking folder to go into that collection because the quality is going to be right up there with them. And that's about all I have to say on the matter. I am a huge fan of the knife, and yes, I do like this more than the Gunslinger. The Gunslinger was cool. I dug it. It never tickled me behind the balls. I never got overly excited about that knife. This one, I can get overly excited about. I really, really dig this. And that's all I've got to say about these. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and come back for the future because I've got something special to show you. Yes, I do. A very cool prototype, a knife that you may not even know is coming out. I can't wait to get to that. I'll see you guys on the next video.